Hi everyone, this is Jan. I hope everything's going well in your world today. What I'd like to do is start a little summer bouquet for you to paint. It's starting to warm up here in California, and instead of spring, I'm kind of thinking about summer, which is sunflowers and bright greenery and all kinds of blooms out there. And here lately, I have been watching Donna's One Stroke Advantage, and I just upgraded to the Hydrangea level. I've been watching all of these beautiful paintings that she's been doing, and one of them has a tin bucket in it, which I really liked. And her pattern was your sunflowers and some hydrangeas, a rose, and some other daisies in here. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I have a painting that I did probably a couple of years ago in Donna's class, and this is it. It's a real tall one, so but it also has this tin bucket in it, and I really love the way that Donna does the tin buckets with the silver metallic. So I wanted to show you how to do the bucket, and then I think I am going to use some of these same colors that she used in this painting and put them in this one that I'm going to show you. So I'll put this back up here, and the first thing I did, of course, was I get these canvases. I get them at Michael's, and they're the Super Value canvas packs, and these are 10 by 10s, and they're really great buys. They're like $12.99 for like 8, depending on what size that you get. But the only problem with these value pack canvases is that they're really rough. So what I like to do is sand them down first, and you just use a fine grit sandpaper. You get these at any hardware store. Just fold it over. It'll tell you on the back this is 150 fine. Anyway, just fold it over and just sand it down one way, and then sand it down another way, and take a damp cloth and wipe it off. Now this canvas that I have here had some other problems with it. It was buckled up on 3 of the corners here, and by that it was sunk under. The canvas was all wonky and everything. So what I had to do was flip it over, just like that. Take a little sprayer bottle, spray the back of it, take my hand and wipe that water around, like that. Flip it back over, spray the front of it, especially where those little bubbles were, just with this sprayer again, and then take my hand and rub that water in on this and let it dry. Only took, well, here in California, we're in the 90s now, so it only took about not 30 minutes, but probably about 15-20 minutes for it to dry. And you can see how much it tightened up. I mean, it's tight like a drum now, to where it was just saggy, and you wouldn't want to paint with it. And you think, oh my gosh, I got these and they're not any good. They are good, you just have to prep them a little bit further. If you want any other information, I have a video on canvas prep on my YouTube videos you can go and watch. So the first thing that I did here, once I got the canvas done, was I took a blue violet color. I did wet the canvas a little bit with the spray bottle and then rub it on. I wanted a light coat of water on here, not drippy water. I wanted my canvas damp. Just don't let it dry all the way. You want to see a little bit of sheen on it, but you don't want it drippy runny, because your paint won't stick very well. Then I took a blue violet color, and I used light blue violet This is a Liquitex color, and I really like this color for using on petals of flowers and different things. Now you can see how, to me, this looks blue instead of violet, but it is a blue violet. And just take a big brush, your big 3/4 brush, and flip-flop strokes around. And I have a video for backgrounds, and that's what you want to look at if you want a little more information on how to do that. So the next thing you want to do is put your pattern on, which I just sketched a few of the flowers where I wanted them. You just want to outline, and where this tin bucket is going to go. Make sure you do your edges too. Now the next thing I want to do is I got out some medium gray, which is this right here, and a little floating medium, and base coated this here with gray and let that dry. Now that I'm going to come back over it with some silver sterling metal paint. Let's see here. It's the Folk Art Silver Sterling. It is the metallic acrylic paint. That's what I used for this. But what I want to do, I need to re-wet this. I already had it wet once, but I have fans going on in here, so it dried up pretty fast for me. So I'm just putting a real thin coat so that it can be damp when I put the silver on. So okay, that's damp. So now load in the silver, both sides. Just pull it out. Now we're going to take the back corner of the brush, meaning this back corner, and I'm just going to do little swipe strokes, little flip-flop strokes. You've seen Donna do this a lot in her videos. We're just going to flip-flop this color around. You want to leave areas of the medium gray, and then you put this on. Now probably, I don't know how well you can see this because of my light, but I'll move it in just a minute here so you can see. It's going to look just like this galvanized tinware. It's really neat how this does this. Okay. And if you want to, you might have to come back. Let's see, let's wipe that off. Come back with some medium gray. And you can add some medium gray in there. Let's see. You know, if you feel that you need some more of the dark gray. But I think the dark gray shows up pretty good there. Okay. There you go. See how that's just real silvery color? Okay, now I'm going to come back down. And I want to add a little bit of this blue violet. And I'm just loading the back end of that brush because we're going to do the same type of stroke. Maybe pick up a little medium there. And a little blue on this side. Just a little hint of blue over on this side here. I can add some blue right up under here because that can be a little shadow from those flower leaves that you're going to put in. Want a little shadow color under there. Okay, now the next color we're going to do, add a little bit of dioxine purple. And I have some right here. Be real careful with this color though because it's real strong. Might even gray this down a little bit because it's pretty strong. I don't want to get surprised here and have a big blob of purple over here. Okay. Again, I'm just doing the same stroke. Swish, swish off that back end of that. Now, once this is dry, I can come back and float that. And I can float this edge over here. I just didn't want to get it outside where my line is there. Add a little purple up under here. Now we have a handle we're going to put on this, but I need this to dry completely before I start that handle. And you can see on the pattern here, see, we have a handle on here. Now I want to trace that handle on. I'm not going to freehand it on. Some of you might not mind freehanding it on, but I don't want to do that. Just adding a little more silver, but doesn't seem to do anything anymore than what is already on here, so I'll just leave that the way it is. Okay, now let me take this up and tilt it. There you go. So you can see the darks and you can see the silver. You can see some of the blue there. Let's see that way right there, and some of the purple. Now I can reinforce those colors once it's dry. If I try to do it now, it's just going to smear it. So I don't want to do anything to it right now, but let it dry. So when I come back, I'll have the handle sketched on, and I'll show you how to do the handle, and then we can go ahead and float purple along this side and a little bit more of the blue on this side. And we'll get our bucket done. Alright, see you in a few. Okay, we're back. And as you can see, I did put my handle on. So let me tell you how I put that on. I used a little, this is a 6 flat. And what I did first was, of course, trace the pattern on, because I don't like to do freehand on things like this. I can freehand on petals and flowers and all that kind of stuff, leaves, but trying to freehand on a lot of this other stuff, I'm just not interested in doing it. I would rather paint. So if I can have a pattern or a sketch or something to trace on, that's what I like to do. So first of all, I used black, traced it on, and then I had kind of like a little C stroke on this end and a backward C on this end. Filled it, kind of did a little arch and came down and filled it all in with black. Then I took white on the edge of my brush and made a gray, and I used some gray to make a little, kind of like a little oval right here. This is where the metal part goes in. So I made a little oval right here on this end. So then with that, then I went ahead and floated a little gray on top, a little bit on this end, and a little bit right here. For the handles, you use the black first, and then bring your brush to a chisel, and then go ahead and use some gray or a little bit of white. Skip and miss, and I did the same thing over here. And then I put a little highlight right down here and highlight up on that top edge right there. Then I came back with Dioxine Purple and shaded under here for a little bit of a shadow. And I also used a different color on the metal. Let's see, there you go. See, that shows it real good right there. I was using that sterling silver or silver sterling. Then I looked in my box and I had this platinum color. And the platinum is a lot lighter. So I thought, ooh, that would show it probably better. Went back and then I highlighted it with some of that platinum, and that really stands out now. Okay, so the next thing that I did was flip some Dioxine Purple in between, now I've got a filbert, and I flip-flopped it in between some of the flowers. And then, of course, I walked it out and did all these little ghost type leaves out here. Now, if you want more reference on how to do this, I have a YouTube video. Just go to Foliage on my YouTube channel, and that will show you how to walk this foliage out using your floating medium so that it looks really, really faint, and it gives you a shadow back there. So it looks like there's more back there. It's just not real stark back there. And then, of course, these in here are heavier color in between these flower petals. This one is going to be, I'm thinking a yellow daisy, but I'm going to do this to where it's rounded on the edge, on the outside edge, instead of pointy. So it's not going to be a sunflower. I think it'd be called a daisy. So we'll see how it turns out. So the next thing that I want to do, after everything has dried on here, I picked up a little bit of sap green and citrus green, and I am just going to flip-flop my brush around, add a little bit of green in here. So again, I'm just wanting some kind of leaf shapes in here. I don't want to cover up all the purple, but I'm going to be adding some leaves later on. So I'm just going to put just little dabs of leaves coming in right up in here, and I'm going to make them more of a leaf shape here. I'm just getting them in here, getting some color in here. Just flip-flopping my brush around. I'm going to have some leaves come off here. Maybe one coming off here. Always like to cover up that handle. Double load, and I'm double loading sap green and the citrus on this. Now once I have color on here, see how I have the little streams coming down? That was in my other painting. I liked it, so that's just the light blue, and I've got that on there so that it's like a shadow color. Okay, now while this is wet, just flip-flopping color on here. While that is wet, I am going to walk some of this out. I want this to be real light. I don't want it to be heavy, so the heaviness is back here, but I'm doing the same thing that I did with the purple. I'm flip-flopping my brush around. I'm getting some of that green off, picking some of it up, dip in the water, blot in the water. See See how you just add some little leaf shapes coming out here? Real light. See, I'm walking this color out. But I want to walk it out real light. Don't want it real sharp right now. Just flip-flopping this brush around. And whenever it gets unloaded with paint, I just pick up a little bit more water and go in it. Now I am thinking about greenery, which way it's going to go. I am thinking about that whenever I do this. I'm not just flip-flopping all around. Like if I think I might want one come off here, turn it that way, come off this way, then angle your brush more this way. This one trails and up to this direction. This one's trailing down here. Maybe that one goes right on off the canvas there. I'm creating some fullness right now in the canvas. Okay, see how it's created fullness here so that I just don't have flowers that are just look like they're just pasted right there. I want it to blend into the flowers. I want it to look like one whole unit here, not like a decoupage type thing where everything's just pasted, and you have hard edges all around. I think decoupage is beautiful. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying anything against decoupage, but that's not the look I'm looking for a painting. I think it's beautiful on bottles and stuff. Some people would do some gorgeous work in decoupage. I like decoupage. I think it's beautiful. But that's not what I'm trying to create here. Okay? Creating a painting, not a decorative plate or something. Okay, so here, get a little green. Flip-flop a little bit of green down here. Okay, so I have enough green in here. I don't think I need to add any more green. Now what? I can do all the vines and stuff on this once I get the flowers on. Because when you start with the flowers, a lot of times you bring your petals out further and you cover up a lot of this. So I'm not going to spend a lot of fussy time with all of this because I might cover a lot of it up. So that right here is enough to get me going to start our flowers next. Okay, now I really like these little things that trail off. Let me show you what that looks like in the original painting that I did. Let me grab it right here. I can show that to you again. See these little tendril things that come off the side there? Well, that's what I was trying to create here. But the only difference that I did on this other one is I'm putting a shadow behind it in the blue violet, and then I'll come back over and then I can add the green on the top. And I love this color over the bucket too, so we might end up doing that. So what I'm going to do next to start some of these flowers that we're going to do on this other painting, I'm going to do these types of leaves after we get our flowers on. Because I've noticed that sometimes if I put them in early, like if I put them in now, then I start my flowers and my flowers grow, and then I end up covering a lot of my leaves, and I don't want to do that. So let's go ahead and we will start. I'm going to start with this pretty little Sunflower or daisy. We'll see what it looks like. I'm not for sure what it's going to look like. Okay, so get your canvas done this far. We'll come back and we'll go ahead and start that little flower right there. Okay, see you in a few. So the next thing I did was put in some of the daisy's petals here. And I'm doing an undercoat because I'm doing like 3 different colors here. So I have a number 10 filbert here, and what I did was I picked up yellow ochre. I have yellow ochre here, moon yellow here, and daffodil yellow right here. So I'm starting with my dark color. Remember, I like to work with 3 colors, dark, medium, light. So I loaded this, and then I came back and I did comma stroke. So you touch your brush and you pull in to a point. So touch your brush, twist it, and pull into a point like that. Touch your brush, push down, twist, and pull into a point. All of these are going to go right into this center part here. The center part is dioxazine purple. Now, like I say, I have 1 coat already on here, and I wanted another coat. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just using 1 solid color here. Now the yellows sometimes can be a little bit thin. Now some of these front petals, instead of pulling straight up, can you see how I'm angling them? This one's coming this way, this one's going to come this way. So they're going to turn a little bit, that petal. Let's see. It's easier sometimes. Set my plate down here. If you turn your work, just make sure you keep your angle. So I'm going to touch, press down, start to twist, pull off. And all I'm doing is putting on a second coat here. Now what I had to do was fill in these little areas here with some violet and some sap green with the first coat, because I had gaps of white in here. So I filled in on that first coat with some more purple and some more sap green. Now I see 1 petal here. That must be me doing something else here. There we go. Okay. So that's what we want to do first, is lay in our base coat of the dark, and then we'll come back and we'll lay in a medium tone. So let this dry. Had a little ridge there. That takes too long to dry, so I want to get that ridge out. Go ahead and let this dry, and when we come back we'll add some of the moon yellow. So here we are back again, and I've done quite a bit to this painting since I put in this little sunflower, and I did change my mind on this little sunflower. What I did was get rid of the yellow ochre I had in the background. I can see a little bit of it right in here. And I decided I didn't like that color with it, so I just took some sap green and dioxazine purple, and I filled in between the sunflower. See how dark it is around the sunflower? Okay, and I let that dry. And then I came in and did the yellow, which is the daffodil yellow. Is that the moon yellow? You know, I think that was, no, it's the daffodil yellow right here, the light one. But you can, if you want to, you can come in with some of this moon yellow and then come in, let that dry, and then stroke with the daffodil yellow. You can do it both ways. And once that was dry, then I came in and stroked it with white and some of the daffodil for a really, really light yellow to put these petals on. These petals were done with the number 8 filbert. Some of them I went flat like this, and some of them I used a 2-stroke and did 2 strokes. And these are shorter than the ones back here. And as this dried, I came back and I had to just tip some of these with additional color because the yellow colors are real transparent. So once it dries, sometimes you have to come back and reapply those colors. Also, the center part is dioxine purple done with your little mini mop that you have here. Let's get down here. Yeah, mini mop. Just did a circle of that, and then while it was still wet, I took that mini mop and I feathered it out on the lighter petals. You can see I have a little bit of color coming out on these petals here, the white ones. Then I went ahead and used the same brush, and I used citrus green in the center. And I have a few little lines that I just took with yellow ochre and did some yellow little lines in those petals. You can see those if you have a photo of a sunflower. They do that. Then when that was all done, then I took the little kiss tool. See the little kiss tool? I don't know why it took me so long to get this. This thing's great. And then I added the dioxine purple dots, and then I put the white dots in the center. So that kind of finished up that flower there. Then I came back with a flat brush and did a couple of the hydrangeas. Now the hydrangeas, I did these in a slip slap stroke that Donna uses quite a bit on the back corner of the brush. So I put these two in, and I'm going to show you how to do this one over here. And then we'll come back and we will do a 5-petal flower for this one. Then I'm just going to add, I think, some little white daisies in there, up in here. I put a lot of foliage on this when before I came back. Again, now I put these leaves here, which are using the 8 filbert, and it's a 2-stroke. So you press down, you double load your brush, press down, pull it out to a point, and then come back and go right next to the edge of that one, and it will automatically make a little vein in there for you. You don't have to put it in. That was just done with the stroke. So it's just 2 strokes, and you have a different little type of leaf. Then I took a liner brush, did the little stems here, and then I came back with this same brush here, and I put in, I have 3 colors on here. I have some blue. Remember, we put the blue on first, and then I came back with a little bit of citrus, and the final color was sap green, and I made little streams coming down off of that. These little buds in here are your citrus, and then I came back with a little white probably had a little citrus on it. I think I used a dirty brush on that, and I got those colors there. So the rest of this is flip-flopping your color in and putting in a lot of filler, a lot of leaves. These little leaves up here, I came in with a liner brush and put the little stems in, and then I came back with this number 8 filbert again. And to do these, what I do is I touch the brush down and I flick it, and I barely touch it, and then I flip the brush, and it'll make the rounded end. And you do them fairly fast. You go flip, 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 and then as you're doing them, you're turning your brush the different angles that you want your leaf to be. Okay, and that'll make those little tiny leaves for you. Alright, so you ready to do the hydrangea? So for the hydrangea, I'm going to use a 3/4 inch brush. Now I find that, I'm not going to turn this because, well, maybe I might not have to. If I want this to be lighter up here, I'll do it up here and the dark down here. So if you want, it's easier to use a 3/4 inch brush when you do your little flip-flops. I'm working off of this back corner back here, right back there. That's the only part of the brush I'm using. And once you feel your brush touch, give it a little flick, kind of like when you do those. Like that. Now, watch these 2 fingers here, because I'm using 2 movements. So I go 1, see how I rotated it, and then 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And each time I put the brush down, I rotate it 1. When I come back, I rotate it this way. See? Watch these 2 fingers. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And that's how you get your brush to move so that you can flip these little bitty strokes. And you're just grazing the canvas. You're not pushing down and going like this. Don't want to do that. You're just lightly touching it. So you have to learn to feel when that brush touches that canvas, so that you can just swipe it just a little bit. And when you go faster, it's easier to do when you go faster. Don't do 1, 2, 3. No. Go at a faster pace. See how much my fingers are rotating? This is what you want to do. And it will make a fluffy hydrangea like this with a lot of different colors in it. Now the colors I'm going to use in this one, I'm going to use the dioxine purple, and then I'm going to come up and use this blue color that I like, the blue violet, and then I'll come in with some white on the top. And I like to start with my dark color first. So let me move this out of the way so I can have my plate right here, and I will scoot this down some. And I'm just going to load the corner of the brush here. I know you can't see me loading this. My plate's too big. But you can see I just loaded the corner of that. That's all I loaded. So we're going to come in. I'm going to start this little slip slap stroke. Now I'm going to pick up a little floating medium just so it goes a little bit smooth. Okay, now I'm just going to wipe my brush on a paper towel. That's all I'm doing. I'm going to go right into this blue here. While this is wet, let's work some of this blue in. If it gets dirty, wipe your brush on a paper towel and come back in with some more blue. Watch my fingers. So you can see what it's doing. We're just going back and forth. Don't make a little ball. Now let's pick up some white. I'm dressing the brush there. Okay, now come in with some white. Flip flop, flip flop. Now work it down into some of that color, and then that color will come up and meet some of the blue and the purple. Now see how that makes it real fluffy? And some of those can come down here. I want to keep this dark down here. Okay? And that's how you're going to do your little hydrangea. Now, I'm going to keep this brush here, and I'm going to load a little bit of green on the other side. And I'm going to put a little bit of this green over so that looks like this is setting down. I want this green to be over this hydrangea, so I'm going to do it right now. Here. Okay, so that hydrangea is done, and I wanted it a little deeper in purple than these other ones over here. This one I wanted lighter so it'd show up against this one. This one I wanted it deeper so that it had more color in it. Okay, set this brush aside and put it in your water. Now let's pick up our 12 flat, and what I want to do is load it with, now I have some keepsake rose, but I want white to be on the bottom and maybe the keepsake on the top. Is that the way I wanted that one? Yes, I want the dark. I want the dark. I want the white in the middle. This is going to be basic, regular 5-petal flower. Okay, load again. Now I have to turn my canvas as I go around. This flower is a basic flower that Donna does all the time. It is a good filler flower. You can use it for anything. You can do any kind of combos you want, any kind of colors that you want. It's just a great all-around flower to fill in. And you can make the petals as ruffly as you want. Okay, got a couple more. Again, here. Let's do a couple of short ones. Okay, and one more. Okay, come up. You can make it as ruffly as you want. You can make it not so ruffly or ruffly. Let me flip this around so it's easy. Okay, so there's that little flower. Now I do like the purple in the center. I think I'll keep the purple for the center on that one. So I'm going to put this brush to the side. Well, maybe let me go ahead and do, I think that flower turned out big enough to where I can just do one. I think I'll do a few little white daisies here. So again, I've got a dirty brush here, and I'm just going to pick up some color. I'm going to pick up some white. I'm going to make some little skinny daisies here. Okay, I'm going to come up here. I'm going to put a dot first, there's our dot. Okay, so touch, pull. 4, 5, 6. Now I'm going to make these petals a little foreshortened right here, like that's kind of turned. I'm going to add a little yellow to the edge there. See how I just picked up a little yellow on that? Okay, now let's add another one coming in front of this one. 3, 4. Ooh, picked up a little pink. Okay. And a little yellow there. Great. Okay, foreshorten this one right here. Let's do it again. Donna likes to work in 3s, so let's do 3s. Let's see, let's have one going up this way. 2, 3. And then a foreshortened one right there. So there's 3 of them there. Okay, I'm looking in the monitor. I think that balances out pretty good there. I don't think. Let's go ahead and add. Okay, I want to add. I'm going to put that in water. I'm going to pick up some dioxine purple with my little scruffy. Okay. And I think I will pull in. Now I want a big dot on that, so if I pull in, what if I don't do the yellow and I do the burnt sienna on that one? Let's see what that'll look like. At a different center. I've got quite a few. I'm just using the end of the brush here. It's going to take a while for these to dry. Okay. Yeah, I like the dark center on that. Okay, and then the only thing we need to do is pick up this kiss tool. I don't know, should I add some little hairs in there instead of dots? Okay, let's pick up our brush here. Let's do this one a little different. Let's do this one. Turn my plate around here so you can see what I'm doing. I'm taking the 2-inch liner and I'm working some water into it. I want it to be loose. Let's see if this will even show up. It might not even show up. Yeah, I think it's going to be okay. Make your little curls come out different angles. Oops. I hope you can see that. Let's see. Let's try a few of them. A little different angle here. Okay. Now that'll be different. Now come back and we can add some little dots on it. Okay, let's put that one in. Get my kiss tool. I'm going to go into some of the dioxine purple. And we're going to put these in. Just where the little stems are. Okay. Oops. Oh boy, somebody's riding their bike up and down the street. Of course, they never do that. It's really bad to be filming on a weekend because you have all these kids that want to ride their bikes and stuff all along here. Okay, I'm going to pick up a little white and I'm going to dab in a little yellow, and I think I'm going to add some little dots right in here too. Yeah, that way it won't Okay, I like that. All right. Okay, I'm looking at this in the monitor, and I think this is full enough. I don't think we need to add anything else to this. I think we are totally okay with this little painting. Pull it just a little bit closer for you. Let's see, there we are. Okay. So I want to thank everyone for joining me. Make sure that you subscribe so that you get notice of when I have these little paintings up on YouTube and you can watch them. YouTube likes the people to subscribe. I realize that I have about 75% of the people who aren't subscribed. And right now I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers. So I do need you to subscribe to the channel. Also, make sure you click the thumbs up button, the like button. YouTube likes us to do that. I want to try to get on YouTube to where I can start selling prints and stuff, but you have to have 1,000 subscribers to do anything like that. Then I can go ahead and have patterns and different things like that up on YouTube for you. So if you have any questions, go ahead and comment below and I'll answer for you. So enjoy, make sure you share, and thank you again for watching. And until next time, take care, God bless, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.